Hi guys, once again welcome to Rabbit and More channel. You know it's all about rabbits and this your guy Yao. And here's another session with Rabito Famino, and we'll look at some innovative and creative ideas one can implement in his or her farms to help in your data keeping, your entire rabbit management system, and also to help reduce mortality in the farm. That is one of the biggest issue with rabbit farming. So not to waste much of the time, let's dive straight into the conversation with Rabito from the Rabito Famino. If you haven't watched the first video, go back and watch that video, and there's a lot of knowledge there for you. So I've seen you keep checking your phone for data about your farm. I think that's an innovative way as a farmer in the 21st century to be using apps like this to keep records in your farm. You mentioned the name of the app is FarmBright. So I'll be happy if you could walk our viewers through this app and how it helps you keep data in your farm.
Just the first three letters. It will bring you all. So you just choose which one. So that's Adole Mampudu. Yeah. So if you click on it, and literally, if you scroll down the name, LD, which means a local doe. The last time it was lactating is not. It's pregnant now, so I've not updated it. It's exposed. Is expecting. Was exposed on the 2nd of February. And it was exposed by Annum Picanate, which is a red one there, red male. Then it's a year and 1 month old. Then offspring, if you go here, it will give you all the offspring. So it gave birth in September, November. It's giving birth twice, right? September and November.
Okay.
So you can see all the records there. So this helps. It makes it easier.
Yeah.
Rather than, I mean, you can add the two if that makes it easier for you, or if you're more interested in doing the two, then there's no problem with that.
All right. So the exposed means it has been crossed, right?
That's it.
Sure, that's good. The feeding. So we realized when we came in and you were feeding your animals, you had I think two badges, one for those that had just given birth and one for those that are still feeding. And why that strategy? Because most of the farms actually use just one formula across board.
I'm going to make that simple without going into the formulation, but just think like this. Babies, when the mothers are pregnant, they need more nutrients because they are carrying baby, right? When they give birth, they need the same nutrient because they are going to be producing breast milk, right? Between that time and when the babies actually come out of the litter box, start hopping around, they will start eating what the mom eats. If you give them, this is not scientific, this is my common sense. If you allow the babies to eat the same thing that the mother is eating, that food will be a bit too rich in protein. But you can't stop them once they hop off the box, they're not going to go back again. So that is where you change the feed for the mother. Unfortunately, you have to balance the issue. The mother will be lacking. It's not too bad, but for sure that the babies are not going to start bloating because there's a lot of protein in the lactating mothers before 2 weeks. And when they are pregnant, there's a lot of nutrients in there. So that's my idea around it. And then you change it once the babies start nibbling little by little. And then when you're weaning them, the weaners, it's very important not to feed them too rich food. So again, you reduce the protein a little bit so that they don't get bloat. More fiber, less protein. That's the idea behind weaners feed being different. So that is important together. And once they go from weaners to growers, that's another stage. Growers, you have two stages. I know it's a bit complex, but growers, you have two stages. Growers that you're growing as broilers, right? You're growing them as broilers, which means they're going to become meat. Of course, you have to fatten them, so they need more protein. But the second growers is growers that you're going to use them as breeding stock. Again, you don't want to give them too much protein, otherwise they're going to be too fat. And when they're fat, and produce. This is just our common sense. If you're listening and you're into farming, try it. Play with the feeding style so that you can reduce the mortality in especially the winter stage. And also we make sure we feed them a lot of grass. I know there's a lot of misconception about grass being green and feeding them. Yes, in my head, when you go to Rome, you do what Romans do.
Yeah.
You know, rabbits who adapt. When we go to Europe, we adapt in it. We put on jacket in that. When you feed a rabbit the indigenous food, I think it's better. So they will adapt slowly. This is common sense. Why do they say make hay while the sun shines? Because in Europe, they don't have as much sun, right?
Yeah.
So they have no option. They have to keep it, save it, so that when the sun is out and it's snow and it's winter and there's no sun, they have the dry hay for them. We have the sun 24/7. Why should we dry our one too dry? That's me and my brain. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Don't quote me. It's elephant grass plus teff grass. Then we're gonna try a bit of acacia, and then we're gonna try a bit of alfalfa as well to give them varieties. They love the biscuit and all that, and we feed them fresh. It's okay. In my opinion, it's okay. Give them the dry ones, especially if you see the runny stomach or something, you give them the dry ones, but the fresh one is okay. Once you've processed it properly, they get a lot of nutrients from it. You wilt it a little bit, but if you can't, it's still okay. Trust me.
The fact that you've had the opportunity to be in the Europe space and also now in Ghana now, I mean back and forth. What are some of the things you've seen out there that you are implementing in your farm, or what are some of the things that you've learned in the European markets that you are introducing in your farm now?
My side, they love rabbit as pets.
Okay.
So I can't say they don't do farming to this extent. The last time I checked, there is not even one rabbit farm, established rabbit farm in the whole of the UK. But what I've learned from it is the space, and that's why I've done that extension that I showed you, make more room for the mothers. So I'm learning from them because they all believe the rabbit should have enough space and they should have the best care, which I agree with. So we are making the necessary adjustment to give our rabbit very good comfort. Our next project, the cage building, I'm not going to reveal, but I've got some plans in my head where we can have like a playpen for them. Hopefully we'll have enough grass where we can leave them there, like a ground where you can leave them there to forage for a bit. Yeah, so they can play around freely, free range a bit. That's all in the pipeline. So yeah, there's not much to learn in Europe. The rabbits get bigger quicker because pellets. If you want to, breed rabbits, you have your pellets that you go and buy from the shop. They don't have time for this formulation and all that.
All right. So we know you also have a YouTube channel, and you also have a rabbit award. Yeah. So are you able to talk about that? Why you started the channel and why the rabbit award as well?
Rabito Famino. I just thought because I'm in the industry of rabbit farming, and when I wanted to buy my rabbits, I literally got no information or no record of whatever is going on with the rabbits I'm buying. And even though I bought them from renowned rabbit breeders in this country, there was no record. I think this one is about 4 or 5 months. Maybe the rabbit is 10 years or something. But I think no. So I thought, why not join the education background? And I was like, you know what? Why not use the farm as something to educate new ones coming, to encourage new ones coming, to do it right. We got the record. We're doing a lot of things. I believe we're doing a lot of things right. Not 100%. I'm like, why not teach? And I was like, Modin was actually the channel, the first channel I watched before I got the links to where to get the rabbit and all that. In fact, I was looking for grass cutter, and then it led me to rabbit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I'm grateful to Modin. But if you subscribe to Modin, then you have to subscribe to
Rabito Famino.
Rabito Famino. I learned a lot from YouTube, people like channels like Rabbit and More. I've actually spoken to Modin myself, and the guys down to earth want to help everybody. That's why I wanted to get into it as well. So that's the idea behind Rabito Famino.
Okay, so about the awards too.
The award, in the Chi language, you see, Obiya di I was saying, yeah. So I'm like, how can I encourage somebody to do what they're doing more? So I was like, you know what, let me dedicate the whole of December to shouting people's praise. And Modin and Chidera who were my top YouTube people who have educated a lot. But I have a personal connection with Modin because he was actually the one who got me into rabbitry. Even though I didn't know him, his videos was what encouraged me to get into it. When he did a video with Ace Farm, which is where I got my pure breeds from.
Okay.
So you know what I mean? He's giving me that kind of exposure, or he's directed me to the right place. So I was like, okay, why not give back? It's like give back, set up something, and you also can give information and help people, grow their business and get into the rabbit farming, because it's something that people don't realize that it's very easy, but it can be profitable if you do it right, or if you have a business plan. You don't have to do it as big as this. If you do it small, it can be a side money, and then eventually, as you move on, you'll be able to expand.
About that, you just mentioned Ace Farm, you just mentioned Rabbit More. So, what are some of the farms you visited in Ghana that you would like to give a shout out to?
There's one springing out, Nana Coffee Rabbitry. He's giving some very good information. Everybody is trying. I see he's a young man giving very wonderful information. We've got Sadiq Rabbitry down Medina. I intend to go and see him at some point because I like to encourage the young ones. I like to see them blooming. They're giving very good information. I got one in the Upper West region. What's his name? Ezekiel. Know yourself. We've got a few. Everyone is trying, but market is very, very young. We've not even scratched the surface. I like to say the truth. I like to encourage not just young ones, anyone who wants to get into rabbit farming. I want to encourage them to do, because number one, something that you can relate. It's a hobby. But if you want to enter it into business, I know there is a lot of confusion out there in the open world where people are preaching make 1 million from in a year, we make 1 million. I've not made 1 million yet. I thought I was going to make 1 million. But I don't want to discourage you. I don't want you to get stressed because your expectation is there. I want to tell people, set the bar medium or low. If you set it too high, you'll be disappointed, and you will not even have any enjoyment in the rabbit farm. It's a business, so you need to have a strategy. Are you going to do a 10 door unit, 5 door? You can even have 2 door units and still make some money. If you are a student, let's say for instance, you go to school and you come back, you look after your rabbit, you can have 2, just 2. For the young ones, it will help them to connect to something. That's the best stage to do this anyway. But if you're going into it as a large scale, like I am doing, just have an open mind. Don't think you're going to make millions in a year, like they're saying. I've not seen even 1,000, let alone 1 million. So I want you to be careful. It's all about planning and also have the mindset that you're starting a business. There's no business that you just go in and make millions and then out, unless you win the lottery. So I want us to have the right mindset when you're getting into it. Everybody in the way they do their farming, there is no wrong or right. I'm not going to be the one sitting here to tell you, my process is the best or my cages. It's not about that. It's about all of us sharing ideas. I've stolen a lot of ideas from people. I can point one to you. I stole this from Ace Farm, right, where he puts the grass in there. And I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm sure he's stolen something from me. It's not about stealing, but you know what I mean? I'm using the term,
Sure.
but in a nice way.
Yeah,
that we learn from each other. But at the end of the day, we take individual decisions to go the way we want to go. Everybody have got their end of what's going on. Some people intention is just to make meat rabbit. Others want to breed it up. Others want to be conserve the breed. I'm into all of them.
Sure.
So you have to pick what you want to do or what you want to achieve from your rabbitry. Everybody is different. Clearly, on the lower side, we want to compete with chickens, right? Got a long way to go. So there is something in there for everybody. It's not about hiding. Remember Nana Drobo? You heard the name Nana Drobo. First person who discovered medicine for HIV.
Oh, okay.
And the Chinese came to take him away. He didn't reveal his formula to anyone. He died with the formula in his head. Apparently, he didn't reveal it. I think probably the Chinese removed the formula from his head. But basically, what I'm saying is sharing information, truthful information. Don't think, oh, I'm going to give what I want. You know early what you're doing is going to hurt somebody's farm. There's a lot of misinformation. There are people doing a lot of good things with YouTube, but there is also a lot of misinformation. So that's the aspect I don't like. But it's like everybody will do what they want to do. But Ghana and Africa, there is a lot more space. I chose rabbit farming because it's not saturated. Not a lot of people are doing it. And I can easily sneak in and become the millionaire that we're talking about. But not yet.
Okay.
So
that's it. All right, thank you guys. So that's why Rabbit and More channel is here for you, to give you truthful information, the actual facts about rabbits. And today we were here at Rabito Famino.
you know that.
Yeah.
Rabito family.
Rabito Famino, and it's been such an exciting and inspiring moment to see such a wonderful farm, a nice setup with very nice breeds in this farm. And like I said, if you're looking for the best of information, then hit the subscribe button and keep following Rabbits and More, and you will learn the best about rabbits. Thank you for watching.
No man, stay on grind, focus and free your mind.